Hey, so today I'm here with Will Rice from Measure Minds Group. Thank you so much for joining me today, bud.
That's all right, man. Pleasure.
Awesome. So today we're going to talk about everything SEO, right?
Yeah, SEO. I'm quite into data privacy at the moment. I think we do a lot of analytics. Yeah, but my bread and butter is definitely the SEO side of things. I've been doing that for pretty much my entire career now at Measure Minds, and I think that's probably what I am going to be doing for the foreseeable if AI doesn't mess everything up for us.
Yeah. It's going to go one of two ways. It's either going to be amazing or the other side. We're kind of hoping for let's plan out as if it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, well, yeah, with the there's a lot of kind of, is people have been asking, is SEO dead for years and years and years? And it's not going to be that way. It's just going to change as it always has. It's never going to go away properly. Just people
Yeah,
have to adapt.
I feel it's very similar to email marketing. Like people have also been saying for the last 10 years that email is dead, but it's still there. Like it's evolved, but it's still there.
Yeah, no, yeah. I still get
Everyone gets a lot of.
make sure that you're targeting the right people in the first place. Um,
Yeah, 100%. One of the secrets is actually we got introduced via email. So
yeah,
it still works. People are still using it effectively.
yeah, I am here. Yeah, it has worked.
But beautiful. Let's talk about analytics. What obviously that's one of the three things that we're going to be talking about. You cater to enterprise clients, right?
Yep.
So what is the biggest overlooked analytics mistakes that these big enterprise companies make?
So, like I say, I'm not an analyst specifically, but I do the SEO side of things. So the analytics team would have probably a lot better answers than I do. What I can say is consent mode is a big one, and that's one of the things that we're having a look at now. Is just we've created this tool that checks people's consent mode setups for free and basically gives them a list of all the tags on their site and whether they have consent mode implemented properly. So that's a major one for pretty much any business. We've done some research on this. We made some like original research pieces where we scanned like the top 1,000 sites, and we found that like, an incredible number of the top 1,000. When I say top 1,000 sites, I mean we did this for the UK, and we did it by traffic and page rank, and there was a few other things that we took into consideration. Looked at the technical setups, and we just found that so many of them haven't had like got consent mode set up properly. And although it's, that nobody's been fined for not having consent mode set up properly, uh, it's definitely a consideration that any data protection officer, so the ICO in the UK's case, the ICO will definitely take that into consideration when they're trying to paint a full picture of how compliant you are as a business. So things like consent mode are really overlooked by a lot of places. It just like I say, I mean, I don't really want to plug our tool a lot, but it doesn't have to be like that. There are other tools out there that do a similar kind of thing. So Cookiebot has their web scanner, and I think a few different CMPs have like some form of web scanner where they can scan your site and they check your tags, and if you have some proper consent implemented. But the difference with our one is that it's a tag management system scanner. So it doesn't scan your website, it scans your tag management system, which is unique in the way that in it can get behind like login walls, through thank you pages, any sort of like gated stuff. It can see behind that, whereas you wouldn't really get that ordinarily, which saves you from running into those problems down the line because you didn't see it using a web scanner. Really, you should use both, and then you have a fuller picture of what you're doing, and then you can protect yourself from it.
Oh, awesome. No, dude, 100%. You can plug away. Like, this is your time. Looking at your tool as well, like everything that you mentioned, the fact that you can not just scan the front end, but actually do a deep dive and just check out your whole kind of setup. That is something really unique that I haven't seen any other tool do.
Yeah, I mean the other part to it is, I mean it's definitely so the scanning is free, and then we do have a premium version where it's you can just click and fix it. So it's like a one click fix. Um, but we're still like we're pretty early days with this whole tool, so we're still trying to like figure things out. And if I'm perfectly honest, there's improvements that I want to make to the app and the team are wanting to make. So um, yeah, we're looking for feedback on it, like genuine feedback. We want to know what's wrong with it so we can make it better. Um, we don't just want somebody to say hello, give us a 5-star review, and then never use it. We really genuinely want people to provide us with feedback. So if anybody does that, that's super helpful for us.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, I'll make sure the team also drops the link in the descriptions below. One thing that I do want to ask, like consent mode. You've heard it around a couple of times, and it's been around for a while now. But what is it exactly? Is it just if someone says allow tracking, that all your tracking is allowed, whether it's first party, third party cookies? Like, if explain that side to me.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm probably not the best person to actually talk to about this, but because more of I'm more of the SEO guy on the team. But really, what consent mode is about is just when somebody accepts or rejects consent, that decision then has to be communicated to a server that then will either deploy or not deploy marketing tags based on the consent. So it's just a method of communicating something. It's just a method of communicating consent, basically.
I can imagine that is a horrible thing to try to track, because especially if you start going into like funnel conversion metrics and server side tracking and that kind of stuff, like at some point you can't really see whether consent mode is being honored or not.
Um, yeah, well, so that's a point with like that's why we made what we made is because with server side, which is what it's basically the future of like where you want to have your tags deployed. You know, because it's a bit more compliant, it's a bit faster. It's faster for the user. I mean, it's better in a lot of ways. I mean, there's plenty of articles online that can tell you all about that. But
I
that's the
think
point.
just the easiest way to kind of explain that is with third party cookies. If someone goes to your website, they click around, say you have a meta pixel on there, then as people are working on your site, then Meta, effectively the Meta pixel allows Meta to track everything that they do when you're on their platforms on the website. So that would be browser side tracking. And then if you have server side tracking, effectively what's happening is the website that you're on, they have a server, and then all the stuff that you do is then pushed to the server, which is fine because it's their data, and then pushed to marketing side. So if you opt out, like you're not necessarily going to disconnect the information that they send to their server.
Mm.
I think that's That's the kind of easiest way to explain it, I think.
Yeah, maybe I didn't get the question quite right.
No, no, 100%. No, I just want everyone to kind of be on the same page. Just if someone doesn't know what server side and browser side
Oh,
is.
right. Yeah. There's plenty of resources about server side, and you definitely should consider deploying server side. There's a lot of benefits to it. But that's like when you have server side, it can be hard for things like web scanners to understand what if consent mode is being deployed properly.
Yeah, 100%, because it's not handled on the website. Like
Yeah.
from the website, like nothing's being pushed directly to an advertising platform. It's being sent to a server.
Yeah.
So it takes it off site, which just nullifies what they're trying to do.
Yeah. There's I'm not am I lagging at all?
Lagging a little bit, but
Right,
it's
okay.
but it's all good. I'll pause in between.
Right, okay, no worries. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. Try remove something. Um like just try put this on a bit of a elevation. Might be a bit hot.
Nice.
Right, there we are.
I can imagine with like 30 odd degrees.
Yeah, and I just realised that I put my laptop on a nice blanket, so it's probably really
Nice.
enjoying that.
Awesome. Cool. Well, let's talk about your conferences. I know that's something that you guys are very proud of. It's something I don't really understand the business economics of it, just because
Yeah.
it's free, and I understand like you're not even breaking even at this point. You're just kind of doing that as a service. Like, what is it, and how can people learn more?
So the conference is uh, yeah, I mean, I guess a lot of people wouldn't understand the economics of that. I don't think we understand it completely. But really, big thing about it is for the love of the game. Really, we just, I mean, I really enjoy running them because specifically for the data privacy ones, because like I say, data privacy is something that I'm really interested in at the moment. When I get loads of experts together to talk about data privacy, I have conversations with them beforehand and I'm learning all these things and having these great conversations with people. And I just really like that aspect of it alone. But as well as that, you end up having a conference full of experts that are talking about the thing. It's free for users, so they get something out of it. It also gives people, the speakers, a platform to elevate themselves and have visibility to talk about things that they care about. And benefits for us, I mean, we get a load of free content, so we can publish a load of free content after it. We get all these YouTube recordings. And, we obviously have gotten quite a few leads from that. That people have come to the conferences and they've been like, oh, wow, you guys clearly care about this whole thing. You care about analytics, you care about data privacy enough to put on an entirely free conference about it, and you know, that's a really good sign that you're a thought leader, that you're someone in the space that's active and doing things. So I think that's a great buying signal for some people, but that's benefits for us. Something we do really care about, and I know it's going to sound so wishy-washy, but something that I have had at this agency is like we actually do care about sharing kind of knowledge and ideas, and it's like quite a strong ethos within our team to knowledge share and empower each other with data, really, because you're going to get the best work out of people when they feel good, when they feel like they can do the job and they feel like they're making a difference, and you do that by helping each other. And so the thing tying it back to the conferences is we give all these things to people in the community that are also thought leaders, so they can come and talk. And rising tides lift all is the saying, that when if everybody's doing well, we all do well. So there's more people coming into the space. There's more representation. Another thing that I really like to do at the conferences is try and get a bit more female representation there, because women don't have as good representation in analytics as men, and that's obviously something that needs to change. So giving people a platform where they can go and do that is, well, I find that really satisfying, but also it's just good for the business, really. If more people are here and more people are doing things in the analytics world, then there's more people to recruit. So there's more people that are aware that we provide these kind of services, and there's more people aware that we're like trying to make a difference in this kind of community, which, like I say, is probably quite a big signal that we know our stuff.
Yeah, 100%. I do have to say, like, going through all your content, and I know from our previous discussions, you also said that the co-founders really want to give back to the community. And that's one of the kind of pillars of the business. You can really see that because it feels like you're giving everything away and like teaching people. And it's not just about teaching, it's about having free conferences. That kind of makes sense because I don't think the economics. I think there's definitely some marketing guys going, "Oh no, we can write it off to a marketing budget because we would have spent. You wouldn't have spent half of that on content, on generating that content.
Mm.
Monetary, it doesn't make sense. It only makes sense if you kind of factor in that ethos that you want to uplift everyone in the community and kind of drive that forward.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely a huge part of why we do it. I mean, we have, to be perfectly honest, we have tried to monetize it in a few ways in the past, and there are things that we could do potentially. I mean, we do have sponsors, and that they obviously help out, and they, when they sponsor an event, they get shown as the people that they're delivering this for you. I mean, they have paid for it to be, they're helping fund this thing, so it's good for them in a way. And I mean, we barely charge anything for our sponsorships.
I
Like, this
was
is what I'm
just
saying. We could probably charge a bit more, but again, we also want to be fair to, we don't want to charge them an arm and a leg, and then, them maybe not get the results that they want, and then it kind of looks a bit crappy on us. I just don't want to. I'd rather be a bit more honourable and have all the other things that we get out of them anyway, which is more than enough.
I was just about to say, like, I'm gonna get the team to put that link below as well. Like, if someone wants to get in with sponsoring, just because it's ridiculous what you're charging to be a sponsor. Like if there's a business out there that is kind of in this space, they should be sponsoring.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Awesome, but okay. So let's talk about your bread and butter. Let's get back to SEO stuff. Like, what is one of the biggest things that you see most companies not doing what they should be doing on SEO?
Most what they're not doing, what they should be doing. I mean, it can be a testament to fundamentals of SEO, really. Some of the stuff that I've seen in the past, um, even enterprises, which is who we work with, SMEs and enterprises. Basic titles, really, genuinely, as simple as that. I've just not having the right focus for a keyword focus for a page. Quite hilariously, I mean, obviously these enterprises have a lot of stuff to manage, and there's a lot of budgets going here, there, and everywhere.
Is it still the normal kind of having the same H2 headline on each website, not having keywords, not having alt text? Is it still that, or has it transformed a little over the years?
I mean, honestly, still do a lot of work on. Well, I try not to spend my time on titles, and I'll have other people in the team that'll work on that kind of thing. But titles are still something that we do. Just identifying what the focus of the page is, and then setting a title that's appropriate for that. For example, there was these product pages for this shop for an e-commerce store. They're selling furniture, and they were selling a king size bed, and it's like it's kind of like a rental scheme, and it said the title was Rent a King, not rent a king size bed or like, purchase a king size bed. It was rent a king, which is obviously not not what it should be. So things like that are still there, but everybody knows this kind of thing. Really, it's not like groundbreaking, but that's why I'm saying it's just even the fundamentals are still there. Like you do a screaming frog report. Again, not nothing not anything groundbreaking that I'm saying here. Um, you look at the issues there, but then when you might go a bit further is the investigative stuff. For example, you might look at the competitors and see what the competitors are doing. One thing I found the other day was a a competitor of the brand that I was marketing for. They had loads of for all of their competitors. They had targeted their branded search, and so it was like for all of their areas, for all of the local areas. The one of the competitor A had written competitor B in location versus their own brand, competitor A. And you would click on the page and it would be a page all about competitor B, but also including all their own stuff, marketing their own business in that area. So it's almost like some sort of parasite SEO, but they were ranking third for all of their locations, sometimes second. I even saw it first at one point for their branded search. They were being outranked by the competitor because they'd just created all these pages, which was a bit like parasite SEO. But that's the kind of like investigative stuff that you just might end up finding out and think, or it's either a creative tactic that you use because somebody had to think of doing that first, right? Yeah, well, I guess another thing which I forgot to mention earlier to do with the analytics side of stuff as well is obviously people are really struggling to find AI traffic, or what we mean by AI usually is LLMs. The traffic from LLMs, it's people are like, well, I can't see that. How do I find that? There is a way to do it, and you can create a private channel grouping in Google Analytics that again, for free. Google Analytics is for free. You don't have to pay anything. And you can put in all the different LLMs, so ChatGPT, Perplexity, the other ones,
Gemini,
yeah,
Claude,
Gemini, Claude,
Grok,
all the millions that there are and will be.
Llama. Let's not forget Llama.
Yeah, so there's tons of them. You can put them all in there, and it will tell you which has the most traffic. Obviously, that's a grouping, so you can see you have the total, you have engagement time, engaged sessions, all that kind of stuff that you might want to see. And what I found actually was that the referral traffic from these LLMs are um, incredibly engaged, which was quite interesting. And so, just off the top of my head, like kind of what you might start thinking about there is, oh well, I've got this page where people are obviously going to from LLMs. They're probably quite deep in a research or down the sales funnel. They're probably deep into something right now. Maybe it's a good place to start putting a few more CTAs. I might put a few more CTAs on that web page. Maybe I'll do, I don't know, think of some things where you could keep somebody on the site um, or get them to convert. But I do, if you want, I do have an article that I can send you that one of our team did for where you can just set it up in Google Analytics. Super easy.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, we'll definitely link that underneath it as well. Beautiful. And I think we kind of ventured into that area now. Like, obviously, I think the big thing everyone's talking about is like you've mentioned now that people are getting traffic from LLMs. And I still remember the first conversion we had where it showed source was GPT. Like that made me so happy. But what can people do to kind of, is there something different that they need to do for this age of AI searching, or how are you kind of approaching that?
Uh, I mean, I like so. I mean, this is another article that I I'm trying to write. I'm trying to find the time to write, and I've actually gone and asked a lot of people in the SEO community what they think about this as well. It's quite interesting to see what they're saying. But really, yeah, obviously LLMs offer quite a different experience to traditional search. But in order to be featured on these LLMs or rank them, they're still having to get their information from somewhere. And it's either their training that they had initially before they were allowed to scan the internet, and then they have their internet scanning mode, I guess. And so, really, like Google is a LLM. That's what it is. It's not really that different in the way that it's presenting information and what an LLM can do. Obviously that is quite different, but in order to be featured on in these places, you kind of still have to do what you were doing anyway, which is what people should have been doing the whole time. What SEO should have been doing forever is create genuinely good content for people. If you want something to rank well, make it good. Don't do the old what so many people have been tricked with is the old, here's a load of keywords, we just need to write whatever about them and we need to regurgitate what everybody else has said. I'm not the first SEO to say this. It's not like groundbreaking news me saying this, but people need to be aware that regurgitating everything that everybody else has said is not going to work. You need to take a bit more, and it's far more interesting to take this approach as well. Get some satisfaction out of your job by taking a bit of consideration and a bit of care with the stuff that you produce. I guarantee you will like your job far more than producing just tosh that nobody cares about. When somebody, try and think, these are basic things to think about. When somebody reaches your article, they've clicked on it. Um, if your article is about, in my case, something in depth to do with um, Google Tag Manager, we're talking about, I don't know. Let's say with the one that I mentioned earlier, the how to do the private channel grouping for the
Yeah.
AI referral traffic. Somebody clicks on that, like, oh, I want to learn how to do this. In the first paragraph, don't tell somebody what Google Analytics is. People already know that. You get the information, get the really important information, put that first, and then if anything else is supplementary, you can put that at the end of your article. It's also way better for the user. It's not just better for an LLM reading this. It's way better for the user, and if it's better for the user, they're likely to stick around, and then Google are likely to understand, oh well, people are engaging with this content, so it should rank better. Doing those kind of things it's just going to be you're just going to get more satisfaction by actually producing. I know I said that, but you're just going to get more satisfaction producing stuff that you like. What else can I say about this? Because I have been thinking about this a lot with the whole LLM versus traditional SEO.
I can
Um,
tell.
yeah, I wouldn't. The other thing is, like, obviously things are changing quite a lot, but I wouldn't worry about traditional search. Somebody's going to clip this in like a few months' time, and it's like, how wrong was he? But I wouldn't worry about traditional search like going away, um, like anytime soon. I'm going to be as vague as possible there,
No,
but
100%. And I agree with you. Like Yahoo, people are still using Yahoo as a search engine.
Yeah.
and we're already looking at AI and all of that. So I'm there with you. Like if they clip you, they can clip me as well. I
Well, the,
don't think like I don't see our parents using GPT as the main source of searching. I think it's going to be more compartmentalized and 100% what you say. I think the fundamentals are still going to stay the same. Like you're still going to have authority pages and you still want to be seen as the authority on one thing. If you have, but I love what you said now that don't start the article with what is Google Analytics because that's kind of going, okay, so my friends and I, we went to the beach first. Let me tell you what a person is.
yeah.
And that's kind of how AI writes stuff. And people just, for some reason, they go, oh no, AI created it. So that's the way it should be
Mm.
without having the common sense to just go, listen, if I read this, like, would it be interesting? And then infusing your brand's voice to it as well, because that if someone's reading an article, they kind of need to understand what the brand's about and who they're reading it from. It's not just a lifeless article that I don't know. If you're good at it, maybe Claude wrote. If you're not so set on it, maybe GPT. But yeah, so does that kind of align with what you're thinking?
Um, yeah. Well, I mean, so the way I use the way I use LLMs versus traditional search, it that differs. And I asked a lot of, I asked a lot of SEO people, how do you use it? And it's like pretty much everybody that I spoke to, they said, "Oh, I still use traditional search," because you just it's got different uses. Like it is just different. For LLMs, it's probably more of like this needle in a haystack moment where there's something very specific that you want to know, um, and you just want to get that answer quite quickly. Whereas if I'm researching something, I've been using traditional search for like, I'm 27, so I've been using traditional search for like 24 years. Like I've grown up with computers. I know my way around like traditional search. I know how to find the information I want, and like I want to. I know I have a pretty good gauge of what I can trust and what I can't, and like I find that quite important when I'm researching something like that. Whereas when ChatGPT or when an LLM comes up with something, I'm like, is that actually right? For example, when you type in anything to do with like Google Analytics 4 and you're like, oh, how do I set up this thing in Google Analytics 4? And then it'll take information from Universal Analytics and put that in there, so it's not a correct. It's a hallucination. It's say if you were to go and set that up, it just wouldn't work. And it's because it just doesn't. It like it the information is like polluted sometimes. So it's a bit of a tricky one, but that I heard was one of the people that I asked about this, which is Mark Williams Cook. He had an interesting thing that he said where he's like, I actually just ask it questions that I already know the answer to, in the way that, like, I think he said something like, if he's playing a game and he wants to understand how to build a certain thing in the game, he's like, I already kind of know how to do that, but it's just something that I want to verify and like I want to get a quick answer to, instead of looking on Google, because you have to click in somewhere and then it says, oh, what is the game? And you're like, that's not what I want. I need a quick answer. And then he just uses that and it says, oh, just do this, this, and this. So the LLMs can be quite good for that kind of thing. It's like a very, very quick answer to stuff. But for the if you it's just pretty tricky with like certain types of information. I remember when I was trying to the whole AI create 10,000 pages in 5 seconds with AI, when that whole craze came along, and I was like, well, this is going to fail. Because I tried writing some stuff about Google Analytics 4, when it was a fairly new thing, and it was just disastrous. Like it wouldn't write anything about GA4 Universal Analytics with GA4 with
Kind of gives me that feeling. It's like a drunk uncle. Like when he tells you something, you still have to verify it somewhere. You still have to go to your mom and like, listen, did he really do that?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So if you don't have that in-depth knowledge, especially when you're using it, when you have very superficial knowledge about the topic, like you can get steered very wrong
mm.
without you knowing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was a classic one where it's there was somebody looking for a pizza recipe, and it said to pour, one of the steps was to pour epoxy resin on their pizza, which
Yeah, we'll give it
I'd give
substance.
it a go. It's lunchtime and I'm pretty hungry, but I think I might have some trouble with that.
Awesome. Well, it's been amazing chatting to you. If someone wants to reach out to you to get some help with SEO, like how do they reach out to you?
Oh, it's a shame we have to finish. I love the conversation, but if they want to reach out, they can get in touch via LinkedIn, or my my email. Should I say it? Or
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I'm gonna
So
get the
it's,
team to drop it underneath in
yeah,
anyway. So
well,
it's all good.
so the email is just william@measuremindsgroup.com. You can, I mean, it's best to contact that email rather than the contact form on the website. But yeah, I mean, not just for SEO services. If anybody would like a chat about anything, or if they want to get feedback on something, because I know personally how hard it is to get feedback on the things that you make. If they want to speak at any of the conferences, I absolutely want to hear from you. Love to put you in a speaking slot. Anything else? Um,
I think just the consent thing. I think we covered the yeah. It's just the consent.
yeah, the consent mode monitor. If you want to use that, if you want to provide feedback, I would love that. And yeah, I'm just really open to being someone in the community that's approachable, because I really like talking to people and I like having a good laugh. So talk to me.
I love that. I'm gonna be sure to keep speaking with you in any way.
Yeah, yeah, it's been a pleasure, man.
But beautiful, Matt. Yeah, like you said, I can have this conversation. It always feels like when we get together, like time just flies.
Yeah, yeah, it's half one for me right now, which is crazy.
Yeah, yeah. No, we've been at it for quite some time. Like
Yeah.
usually double the length of what these episodes are usually like.
Oh well, I'll take that as a compliment
Hundred
rather than
percent.
me
Yeah,
just
you should.
babbling along. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, bud. I'm pretty sure we're going to have you back on once you get the conferences, once you have the dates for the next conferences or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, would love to. I mean, there's plenty of stuff that I could talk about. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Would love it.
Awesome, man. Then I'm going to let you go. Hope you have an amazing day. It was awesome. Check out all the links below. And yeah, hope you have a great day.
Cool. So, are we